Hey there, Andy Slawetsky here with Industry Analysts. I am joined today by Greg Vandewalker and Hannah Erb from GreatAmerica and from Collabrance. How you guys doing today? Greg, how you doing? Hannah, how are you?
Doing well, Andy. Thanks for having us.
Excellent. Yeah, doing great.
So Hannah, you're in Chicago. How's Chicago doing?
It's good. I mean, it's been pretty crazy here, just given that we are, a big city, and so people are reacting a little bit more than you see in some of the smaller towns. But we're surviving in our 800 square foot apartment. So far, so good.
That's got to be tough. That's got to be tough. I'm in Western New York. We've got a little more space here, but we are getting through it. We're a little, I think, ahead of you guys. And then Greg, I know where you are, but I'm going to ask anyway to tell my listeners, where are you? And I already hate you for it.
Well, we are in Playa Coronado, Panama. My family, we went on spring break March 12th, and we're going to be gone 8 days. And while we were here, things went sideways in the world. And so we decided to ride out the crisis down here. So it's certainly a beautiful place to be. The people here and our life here is pretty much like it is there. We're in lockdown. There's only certain days I can go to the grocery store. So we're having to kind of live through it as well. But I am working on the tan every day. So there are worse places to be.
Well, as long as you don't run out of the drink umbrellas, that's my biggest concern for you right now. Well, one of my biggest. Just getting into it, I want to get into just ask you about, can you give me some description about who most of my readers, my listeners, they know who GreatAmerica is. I don't know if they're quite as familiar with Collabrance. Why don't you just take a second and give us an overview of Collabrance?
Sure. And Andy, to your point, a lot of your readers, listeners are from the imaging industry. They've known GreatAmerica for a very long time. But GreatAmerica has a number of different business units that provide financing. And I actually oversee the channel that calls on the IT providers, so MSPs, VARs. So we have separate sales, separate ops that just call on that channel. So I spend about half my time overseeing that group. And then I spend about half my time overseeing Collabrance. Collabrance is what's considered a master managed service provider, meaning we're really an IT company for IT providers. So whether you're a traditional copier dealer or you're a managed service provider, we provide help desk, NOC services, and just a bunch of other services where those organizations can outsource to us. So, and that's what Collabrance is. Hannah's been involved in Collabrance for a number of years, and so glad to have her on the call with us too.
Excellent. Hannah, why don't you give us an overview, and maybe not so much an overview, but an update on what it's been like the last few weeks supporting the field right now. I'm sure there's been a drastic uptake based on the interviews I've been doing with other resellers in the areas that you guys are supporting right now. What's it been like covering it, and what's it been like for you guys at Collabrance working in this new age, this new way of work, the remote way of working that we're all doing? I think you've got maybe some insight in that you could offer for us.
Yeah, definitely. So similar to MSPs across the nation that are all going through this together, I mean, we're all experiencing a huge influx of calls, right? So figuring out how we can continue to provide a great customer experience and also a consistent one with all of the influx of calls that we're getting. So with Collabrance, we've received a lot more activity, a lot more calls than usual. We've been really active in getting employees as well as our end user customers set up to work remotely and going through that process to give our partners as well as the end customers the tools so that they can do that and as well as do it securely. So that's been a lot of what we're doing the last couple of weeks. And then just taking in requests as usual to keep up with all the call volume. The nice thing is the way that we're set up, so we cover basically two separate teams. So we have our East Coast team and our West Coast team, and that makes about 15 and 15 different engineers that are working those issues. And so the way that we're set up is we do have standard processes in place so that we can keep up with call activity, even in a situation like today. So the neat thing is just going over our numbers is even with, 50% more call volume than we typically get, we've been able to provide the same experience with the same employees, same US-based experience that we have in the past. And the other cool thing is keeping up with the customer satisfaction. So, we've been getting the surveys, getting the responses, and overall we've maintained that as well as our remote resolution. So overall, it's been a little bit different just from our people's experience, not being together in our knock center like we typically are. But from the customer's perspective and our partners, it's been, extremely positive up to this point, and we're just hoping that we can continue to provide that support experience so that from the customer standpoint, they're getting the support that they need in the given circumstances.
That sounds amazing. I can see how the explosion would come on your side versus maybe the GreatAmerica side, where there, probably pockets and things that are really busy here and there, while other areas are probably slowing down. But for you guys, I have to imagine everybody's struggling to get their own remote workers set up. Greg, can you talk about how Collabrance may play into that, and how, some of the things that you offer help dealers set customers up with solutions like that? Also specifically keeping them safe, keeping them secure, and just making sure the stuff works.
Well, to Hannah's point, she said the calls were up 50%. At the peak, we were 57% higher than usual. And the bulk of those calls, Andy, were us helping our dealers' customers work remote. So we're making sure VPNs are set up, that we've got right security measures, proper accesses, and proper protocols, the different levels of authentication. So even though the length of our calls was shrunk, they weren't as long. They were just all around helping people work securely and safely from their home environment. And we've actually seen the call levels start to subside. So, we've got everybody set up. Things are, happening, I guess, as normal as they possibly can in these situations. But we feel that we have all of our customers' environments set up in the work for home perspective, and as securely as if they were in the office. So we really feel good about that.
Awesome. The next question I have is, I want to ask about the support of the dealers, specifically the resellers. Hannah, maybe you could take this one. Right now you've got a customer base who, in some cases, they're struggling. They may need a little additional help. And then their end users, the people that they service, some of them are maybe challenged with making payments on time, and in the middle of a lease renewal that stopped, and now they need to get it going. And what kind of things are you guys doing to make life easier for your dealers and for your end users right now?
Yeah, great question. So we're really doing, 3 different buckets of things when you think about it. So the first thing is offering as much free products that we can to help users given the circumstances. So like Greg mentioned, whether that's helping them get the tools that they need to be set up remotely and securely, getting them the access they need to network resources in a secure fashion, and then also just getting them the resources they need to educate themselves on best practices to follow working from home, since a lot of users aren't used to that. So providing our partners with those tools and getting those installed remotely to the best of our ability to the end user customer. The second thing is, you mentioned, Andy, financially. I mean, everybody's going through a lot of different changes when it comes to their business. And so we're really taking that on a case-by-case scenario, depending on the circumstances. So working with our partners, whether that's, deferred payments, working with their contracts, putting things on pause, even if we need to, just to make that a seamless experience, both from our partners and from the customer's perspective. And then the last thing is, being on the front lines from a sales side of things, we're getting a lot of questions, right? Both from our partners and from the customers on how to handle things, what should they expect, what's going to be different. So we're trying to stay as up to date as we can and getting that information to our partners, and also creating it in a way that it's white labeled so that they can provide it to their end user customers to educate them as well. So we have a landing page on our website where we're keeping it updated with frequently asked questions and getting those resources created, whether it's, flyers, infographics, any information that our partners can take, educate themselves, but then also get that to the end user customer so that they are all up to date with how to handle things, given all the news that comes out on a day-to-day basis.
It must be a challenge to keep up with that. It sounds like you've got quite a program already in process for these resellers here. So that's great to hear. That's it for me for right now. I'll let you guys get back to it. I want to thank you both very much for taking time out of your schedules to just chat with me. And I'll let you guys have one last word. Hannah, anything you want to say to the to the Collabrance people out there, and to your dealers, to your friends out there that might watch this?
Yeah, I mean, thanks for the opportunity, Andy, and we just want to let you all know that we're here for you as much as possible. Whatever we can do to help, we're all going through this together. So please let us know how we can help you through these situations, and just be safe and healthy. We'll be thinking about you guys.
Awesome. Good to hear. Good to hear. Thank you for that. Greg, how about you?
And I don't want this to sound like pandering, but I do want to thank you, Andy. I mean, last week, the virtual cocktail hour that you had, that was awesome. That was great. You know, when you look at how we all work, we're on the road. We see each other in cities all across the U.S. And it was fun to see everybody in their home environment.
I miss it.
And to catch up. It was a great time. So thanks for doing that. And hopefully we can do that some more, just to keep in touch with everybody.
Well, good segue. Actually, we are going to do that again this Thursday. We're moving it up a day because of the holiday on Friday. And ACDI will be sponsoring this one. And just like last one, after the end of it, we will be donating to a COVID-related charity. Last week, we fed about 50 doctors and nurses here in the Rochester community. And next
good
week,
for you.
we'll be doing something big down in Benton, Arkansas. So we'll see you guys hopefully Thursday at happy hour.
Sounds good. We will see you then.
Looking forward
Thanks,
to
Andy.
it.
Awesome. Thanks for chatting.
Thanks, Andy.
Stay healthy, and we'll talk soon. Bye-bye.